All right.
You ready to have a political debate about this, man? Not really.
We'll see. Guys, Andrew wants to talk politics and metals. So
Because I do have a lot of people coming in. And
it's
the
going to
first
be a
question
delight.
they ask me is, how do you think the current, the election, the coming up election is going to affect metals?
Yeah.
And I hear a lot of different answers,
Yeah.
a lot of different philosophies and theories about what's going to happen. And
So that's what we're
I'd
talking
like to hear
about.
Stormy's opinion. to be
That's what we're
honest with you.
talking about. All right. So the question was, do I think that, how is the election going to affect metals? I've done a video on this in the past, talking politics. I'll be able to even probably find, I remember the image was of like Trump and Biden both like going like this, like pointing at each other. And I did research on this, and essentially in terms of, is there one party better than the other
I
for
think you told
metals?
me it makes no difference.
It makes no difference. It comes down to the economy and the policies of the administration that is in power. And as you know, that's all based on everything that's happening in the world. Like it could change like this, right? Like
we saw this week.
we saw this week with the ratcheting up of the war in the Middle East. Think about the pandemic. Like we're
the
on
strike
one
with the ports.
the strike in the ports, right?
really
So
crazy.
you can have like one trajectory for your economy,
something
and then all of a
happens, it's
sudden,
completely different.
Yeah, think
Yeah.
COVID-19, major ramifications, right? So it's a lot of people will be like, oh, this person's going to be horrible for metals. This person's going to be great for metals, right? Like people will be like, oh, Trump is going to be terrible for metals or whatever. And it makes no difference. It makes no difference. It doesn't make any difference. It
I can
comes
see
up
it
to
if Trump won the dollar rally, maybe
yeah, well,
cause
okay, so if the dollar rallies, it makes metals drop.
metals drop. I
Right.
can see something like that happening. And I can see the opposite happening. A lot of these doom and gloom guys, Kamala gets in, there's a mad frenzy to buy gold and pushes, whether it's
Yeah.
overbought or,
Yeah.
or whatever, it's just the mindset of the people when an incident like that happens.
Yes, it's there's definitely a psychological
But
aspect at play.
I don't know. I think that this election might be a little bit different. I think you might see a big movement.
Which
no matter who
direction are
goes
you
in.
thinking?
It depends on who gets in.
All right, let's just pretend your favorite
Yeah,
Kamala Harris
like I
gets
said,
in. Do you think it's going to go up or down?
I expect what I just said. She gets in. You're just going to have, I think, a lot of people rushing to buy metals. Whether or not whether or not she's going to be good for the economy, I really don't know. But
here's what I'll say with that.
I can see that playing out.
But-
But people putting their money in metals.
Okay, so to that point, I know based on the 36,000 plus subscribers that I have on my channel, I read the comments and everything. I would say 95% of the people that watch the channel are Republican. I would say 95%. I mean, I really don't know, but based on all of the comments that I read, when there's like a Democrat that comments, it's like spotting a unicorn. Like you just don't see it very often, right? So the majority of the people, though, that are into precious metals are stackers. And to me, I've found that the majority of them are Republican. I would even say for you, the people that you've done a lot of business with, I would probably make a bet that I would say 85% of them are probably Republican
There's definitely some that aren't, but majority are.
So to that point, if Kamala Harris gets in, you might see a wave of activity with all of these stackers and people that have a negative sentiment towards the Democrats and Kamala Harris getting in. Yeah, they might be buying metals, but I don't think it's going to be to the degree that's going to actually push the needle and it's going to drive prices up. Because we've seen, we've seen what was it, the silver squeeze and that whole bullshit thing that happened years ago, and that didn't really drive prices up like some people say. It didn't really have any effect. There's much bigger things at play. You have central banks and you have powers that are much larger at play
Let
than.
me ask you something. As a non-Trump supporter,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do you think if he gets in, things are going to hell and the prices are going to go up? You're the opposite?
I really don't think so. I think you'll have, because the other thing too is our nation also, if you just look at polls, we're very, very split, very evenly. It's very, very close right now, right? We're like at 51% with like a 2-point margin of error either way. I don't think that when either candidate gets in, it's going to really do anything to the price of metals. I don't know. I could be completely
we'll
wrong.
see,
We're just guessing here, just kind of chatting. We don't have a crystal ball. We have no idea. But I do think, though, in terms of just from the sales perspective that you and I have as business owners, I think, at least I think, like leading up to the election, you'll probably see an uptick in people buying just out of fear, like, oh, when Kamala gets in, that's the end, that's it, that's the end, that's the end.
Sure.
And once she's in office and people see
Things
nothing
aren't that
happens,
bad.
and same thing with Trump, like once he's in office and everything
might
is
see a
still the
pullback.
same,
Yeah.
it's going to be status quo. But I do think there has been some pullback in terms of people buying right now. I don't think there's a lot, at least from what I've seen, not a lot of people buying as much. I think they're kind of like waiting to see a little bit, you know?
Not to mention it's expensive. It's at all-time
And
highs.
that's the
It
other
adds
thing
up.
too.
You buy a couple ounces, it's, you know, you're talking over $10,000.
Right. So now, like, so going back to your point, right? Is a Democrat better or is a Republican administration better? And so right now we've got Biden as president and we have gold at all-time highs, just like crushing it, right? So one would be like, oh, the Democrats are better for the price of gold.
Right.
But it really makes no difference. We've seen, like you said, all right, the war in the Middle East, the war with Russia and Ukraine. We've got the ports now on strike, and they're saying that could cost like $2 billion a day or whatever, like this, and it's going to take like 6 weeks or 8 weeks just to make it up, like for 1 or 2 days of lost. Like it really F's up everything, and who knows how long this will go. They were saying that this will jam up the supply chain so badly, like you're going to start
We've never
seeing.
seen nothing like it.
Well, we did during the
They
pandemic.
said it's going to be a lot worse.
So there's that, right?
Yeah.
So again, it all depends. Now, I think that Andrew and I, at least, you know, Republican, Democrat, we both agree that you should have some metals. You should have it. It's there for stability, and it's an insurance policy. It's a nice way to save some of your money. We were saying in a previous video that it's a really good time if you've got scrap gold, unload it. If you've got gold in your stack that you're willing to part with, some of it, not all of it. You want to keep some in reserve, sell some of it, but take those profits. But
yeah, it is a good time to sell.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's the highest I've ever been paying for scrap gold.
yeah,
You know, more than what I've been trying to sell it for.
Right.
So if you got it sitting around, you could put that money to use. I
Absolutely.
would definitely recommend right now the time to sell.
absolutely.
And as you can see, that
You've got plenty here.
there's people selling.
Yeah.
You know.
And if you guys are interested in buying, you can check out both of our websites.
Yes,
Andrew's
beautiful.
website,
Bayshore Bullion Exchange.com.
mine's EmpirePreciousMetals.com. First and third Tuesdays on YouTube every 6 p.m. Eastern. You can check out my live stream auction. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Oh, and let us know in the comments below. And don't say Trump 2024
who you voting for. I hope we
or
can get
Kamala
those
Harris
comments in
2024. Like, put in the comments, like, because some of you have been around a long time. Some of you people are elderly. Like, you've seen a lot of stuff in your day. Like, let us know in the comments below. Like, do you think one administration is better for the other? And plus, when you're saying or party, I should say, the other thing too is one party better than another is also subjective. For me, better to me are lower metal prices. I would much rather
I hope
have.
it means the economy's doing better.
I would rather, yeah. I'd
For
rather
that, you
have.
want Trump in office, man. Come on.
Here we go. So we're gonna end the video here before he starts spouting off random shit, and we'll see you guys on the next
Have a
one.
good weekend.